Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and this video is brought to you through the EA Creator Network as I was provided with an early look and an early play of the brand new expansion pack for The Sims 4, which is of course The Sims 4 high school years, basically focused on teenagers, which we have been gagging for. So starting off with the main menu, once you load up the game, you have Explore Your Style, make your bedroom your own, plan outfits, and become a Simfluencer. Teens can earn money by selling outfits and hyping up looks they design on trendy right from their bedrooms, which are now more interactive than ever. So obviously style, fashion, how you actually show yourself to the world, how you present, all of those things mean quite a lot when you're a teenager. It's a way of showing your personality. And honestly, I will hold my hands up and say I was actually pretty impressed when I loaded up this creator sim. So enough nattering, let's get into it. Oh yeah, also as a heads up, this was an early build. This is not final software, and any issues that I ran into or anything, I did flag up with the team. So fingers crossed they will be fixed or looked into and noted before release. Starting off in Creator Sim, we have a brand new section of aspirations. They are the teen aspirations, and there are 4 of them. So we have the Live Fast. This sim aims to get the most out of life by living carefree and rules-free. Then we have Admired Icon. This sim wants to be a trendsetter, popular, and influential, a true icon. Drama Llama. This sim wants all the drama, all of the time. And finally, we have Goal-Oriented. This sim wants to be the best. Grades? Check. Sports? Check. Money? Check. The road to success is being paved. Tag yourself. Honestly, probably as a teenager, I was honestly probably more goal-oriented. Each of them have 3 steps. So they are quite small aspirations, which to be fair isn't too surprising when it comes to The Sims 4. And I will say they do kind of just walk you through sort of the expansion and things that you can do. But I honestly don't mind them. I mean, I don't really expect much from aspirations these days. I do like having 4 different ones. Honestly, I really would have loved to see a more mischief focused one, purely based on the pranks you can do and stuff like that. Live Fast kind of ties in that element. Goal oriented is actually my favorite in this pack, just purely because it seems the most well rounded. And when you choose one of these aspirations, you actually get the bonus trait of relatable, which makes your relationship with other teenagers go up faster, which is very helpful if you're traveling with your Sims every day. So for completing the Live Fast one, you get the Dauntless trait, which, hello, do I have any Divergent fans in the house? But basically, Grim likes you and you just want to basically YOLO your way through high school. For Admired, you get Iconic, which honestly doesn't seem like the most impressive to me. I don't know if I just didn't fully explore it, but apparently you can make the most out of the World Wide Web, which I get is helpful for trendy, probably helpful for other social medias, but I personally don't use social medias all that often in The Sims 4. For Drama Llama, you have Untroubled. So this is basically you bounce back from relationships and things like that. You don't really give a naff what anyone says about you. And then for goal-oriented, you get High Flyer, which basically means that you are more successful in business, which I personally think is probably gonna be the most helpful. I get it. I was a goody two-shoes in school, and apparently the people-pleasing trait has carried itself over until young adulthood. We also get 3 new traits for our Sims. So those are Overachiever, which basically helps to build your skills faster. They are a little bit harder to get along with, but honestly, I didn't really notice that in my gameplay all that much. We have Party Animal, which basically just gives you a few more interactions. You love parties, and you can woo, you can check people's vibes, and you can also do party tricks, which is actually what the Rubik's Cube is part of. Kind of fits in with your bro frat energy. And then finally, we have Socially Awkward, which I actually noticed affected my Sims relationships way more than Overachiever. Honestly, poor Liberty Lee was trying her damn best to keep her head afloat, making friends, and everybody hated her. All of my relationships were in the red, so if you want a challenge, go for socially awkward. Honestly, I kinda hope they do nerf this on actual release because it was just way too OP and it was such hard work, which I like a challenge, but bloomin' heck. I feel like you should have like a confidant or something. In the expansion, we also get a new section of likes and dislikes. So you get fashion likes and dislikes. This basically just like helps with trendy and stuff. Honestly, doesn't really do much. Kind of works the exact same way as furniture. If your sim wears like an outfit that they don't like, then they get like an uncomfortable moodlet. Whereas if they wear something that they do like, they get like an energized or just like generic happy moodlet. Also new to create a sim, under the gender settings and the details, we now have sexual orientation. This is coming in a base game update. This isn't exclusive to the expansion, but I did want to talk about it here because it is part of Create a Sim. So basically here you can choose whether your sim is romantically attracted to men or women, both or neither. This sim is exploring romantically, so if you say yes, that means they're kind of more open to both genders within the game. Unfortunately, this still goes off the binary genders for right now. Obviously, we recently got customizable pronouns in English in The Sims 4. However, gender is still very binary, minus pronouns, so I'm kind of hoping in the future we can get like a third, like non-binary sort of umbrella when it comes to gender. And then you also have this sim is interested in mess around with. As an adult, that will say woohoo with. So again, you can choose men, women, both, or none. This will actually have an effect on your gameplay. So if you approach someone who say isn't romantically exploring, or you flirt with someone who isn't romantically attracted to men or women and also doesn't have an interest in messing around, they will just straight up be like, well, this is awkward, but I am not for you. You are barking up the wrong tree. Please leave me alone. I have always said I quite like the Sims being basically pansexual and they can be attracted to whoever they want to be. If you don't like actually explore these settings, that just means that that will be the default. It's an opt-in scenario. I think those of us who are going to play with this are really going to enjoy it. There isn't like any tagging of the sexualities, so you can't like input like, for example, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, aromantic. However, you can change the settings to show that your Sims have that preference, which I think is sick. And I also love the inclusion of like aromantic and also asexual. Big thumbs up for that. I don't think this is going to affect any of the past townies that we have had, but do keep in mind that some of the townies that do come with this expansion actually have sexuality preferences, so you're not just going to be able to date anyone. Moving on to Create a Sim though, and the assets that come with Create a Sim, we're starting off with the feminine tag stuff. So we have a new set of freckles, which is quite nice. We have 12 hair, 2 hats, 6 facial accessories, 5 sets of makeup, 2 arm body hair, 4 chest body hair, 2 back hair, 2 leg hair, 42 tops, which is just redonkulous, 25 bottoms, 15 full body outfits, 2 full body accessories, and 2 sets of shoes. That's a whopping 122 assets in total, which I just think is a little bit silly. It feels like one of the biggest Create Sims we have ever had. When it comes to the like feminine hairs, I think these are really usable, to be completely honest. I kind of hope they don't take some of these and add them into a base game update in the future, because I always feel like we need more inclusion in general. But yeah, some of the hairstyles, especially the like shorter hairstyles, definitely kind of have the vibe of hairs that we already have, but it feels like they've taken base game hairs and really updated them. Like even with the big like pushback quiff, I think it just looks like a base game hair, but way better texture. Obviously, we all know that like the textures have changed so much. I do like the head accessories accessories. However, I was expecting more. I was expecting like earrings and kind of more jewelry. We got like 4 necklaces, which I mean, I'm a fan of that, but no earrings felt really, really strange to me. I don't know why I was expecting to see more. Obviously, with the makeup, it's kind of dramatic. It doesn't look the best, I'll say it. I mean, I don't think makeup in like actual EA content looks that great, to be honest, and I feel like it definitely hasn't picked up over the years, which is unfortunate. I like the new blush, but that's pretty much about it. Obviously, we get body hair. You can find it in like the body details. We actually have some that is also exclusive to the pack, but we are also getting some in base game. You can actually enable hair growth, so when you're actually in like live mode, your Sims can actually like start to gain thicker hair. You can toggle that on or off, which is really nice. And we finally, thank flipping goodness, are able to use it for FemFrame Sims, which is a massive positive in my eyes. They can also have hair growth. They can also have it on their backs, legs, stomachs. It's not like a gender thing, which is really, really nice to see. Thank you, Sims team, for that. And we also have curly textured, afro textured facial hair, which again, really, really big fan of. I'm actually gonna have to have a cheeky little look to see whether that comes with base game. For the fashion, honestly, I think they did pretty well with the fashions. Like I said, this feels like one of the biggest creator sims that we've had. I'll hold my hands up and say a lot of it is skewed for teenagers. I mean, we were expecting it. However, I do feel like you can get away with using like a lot of this for any aged sim. There isn't a lot for the kids and toddlers. There are only hairs, which is unfortunate, but it's a teen pack, so I think that's pretty much why it feels like bigger in a sense. I will say hairstyles, I was kind of expecting more, but I think they put most of like the create sim budget into the clothing because there is a lot of it. There's also quite a lot of different styles. You kind of have a mix of like alternative, kind of like anime, preppy. There is hints of athletic wear, but it's not like super athletic, and it also doesn't feel like too much because obviously, as you all know, I feel like we get athletic wear an awful lot in The Sims 4, but it's kind of, you know, like your cheerleading stuff, what you expect like kids to wear for PE, and it kind of swings more towards being streetwear, which I can actually very much get behind. There are a lot of crop tops, and I really don't like that the blazer options that we get when it comes to feminine tag stuff actually only have crop tops under them. I don't know why that choice was made. I feel like blazers should have had a longer version as well, especially if you're like making teachers. It feels like that preppy, like professional look, but I would have definitely preferred it if they had just like longer tops. However, the bottoms are also very high-waisted. Like there's barely a low waist in sight, which I'm very glad to see. So it kind of makes up for the fact, but if you weren't feeling the crop tops before now in The Sims 4, I don't know if this is gonna be the creator sim for you. I actually really like it. I think it's very usable. I don't think you're only going to use this for teens. I think you can use this for teens and above. I think there's so many different styles that you're kind of going to find something for everyone in a sense. I will say definitely check all the swatches, because the one thing we know about fashion right now is that like people really love like block colors, but then people also love like funky patterns or like cow print, and you know, like those kind of things are very fashionable. So there are actually different patterns under them, so make sure you check all the swatches to like find like check stuff. I feel like the more out there stuff is definitely hidden in the swatches, so just keep an eye out for that, because you're gonna find different patterns on pretty much every single asset. Some assets only have like one swatch. Those do tend to be like the Depop created ones. I will say when it comes to the jeans, the baggy rip jeans, I'm so sad that the fishnets aren't like just a body accessory. I don't know why they weren't separated. I feel like they very much should have been, and it pains me because I actually use custom content fishnets all the time, and I would have loved to see them as a separate asset. I don't know like why they do that. I don't know why they can't just separate it, because I feel like you could have used that as an accessory way more than only having it on those jeans. Fingers crossed a custom content creator can actually separate those. I'll hold my hands up and say the full body fits are a little bit lackluster. There's definitely some standout pieces. I absolutely love the big baggy like anorak raincoat that's kind of like streetwear vibes, but then others like the dress with the polo neck underneath it, and also the like other dress that's like this woven sort of fabric, I really do not like. It just felt like some of them were so like this absolutely slaps for me, and then other times I was like, why is this included? Like, I don't know, there's just some full body fits that I absolutely do not vibe with, but I think I vibe with more of the assets than I don't, so in my opinion that's a good thing. I also love how the meshes are kind of baggier. I know I said there was like a fair amount of crop tops, but I do think that the clothes are like baggier, and there's also some longer ones in there as well, so I don't feel like it's too restricted, and I think that there's enough variation that you're probably gonna find something that you really like. The lack of full body accessories is very upsetting. There's only 2, and there's also only 2 pairs of shoes, which I find kind of weird. Again, I feel like all of the budget literally went into like the outfits when it comes to top, bottoms, and full body fits. Also, just a heads up, there are actually some locked CreatorSim assets. You can basically find them by visiting Thrifty and going through the racks and trying to come up with trendy looks, which you can actually just wear yourselves, and it then unlocks them in CreatorSim. So just a heads up if you are wondering how to grab those items. I'm sure there's probably a cheat that unlocks them. Moving on to masculine sims, the hair's super disappointing. They don't get anything that seems like specific, like made to them. I also don't feel like the femme tagged hairs, you've kind of not got too much of a crossover, but for the masculine sims, we actually have the 2 freckles, 4 hairs, 3 facial hairs, 2 hats, 4 accessories, 1 blush, arm hair, chest hair, back, leg hair, all the same as the feminine, 34 tops, 19 bottoms, 4 full body fits, 2 accessories, and 1 shoes. So they only get 77 assets in total, where femme tag stuff gets 122. No surprise there. I feel like masculine sims always get the short end of the stick. However, what is included in the masculine assets, I actually think I prefer over the femtag stuff. I just think it's a bit more usable, and again, you kind of got that mix of like streetwear and preppy kind of stuff. You've also got like the more nerdy stuff for like your chess clubs and your computer clubs and stuff. There's like longer sleeve basics, and I really like the layering in the masculine as well, because like there's kind of like shirts over t-shirts and t-shirts over long jumpers, which is really nice, very modern, kind of those like skater vibes, which is really nice to see. Really would have loved actually if they had focused more on the basics for masculine sims, even just like a plain baggy t-shirt, maybe a t-shirt that has like a shorter fit in the front and then longer at the back. I really think that masculine sims are missing the basics. Fem sims kind of have them covered by like all packs, and I really feel like this could have been the time for that to happen. I will say the patterns are pretty bold, they're pretty out there, so keep that in mind. There are obviously like block colors, especially like white and black, which is a movement that I can get behind in CreatorSim because I love having the like bearer swatches too, so not everything is like colorful and like has a really bold pattern to to it. But yeah, I just think that like even this top with like the sweater vest over it, if they had just given us that t-shirt separately, I think it would have been sick. I think the more like out there stuff, if you want to call it that, like the like punkish wear and like the e-boy, e-girl fashions, I feel like those were definitely needed. And I do think that this pack is kind of filling in gaps that we've been asking for, or at least I've been asking for. I don't want to speak for everyone on that opinion, but I personally like wanted to see this like teen style so we can kind of give them more personality. So actually, I'm a really big fan of CreatorSim. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I think there's enough of like the more formal stuff and the like less out there stuff for you to still enjoy, even if you don't want those super bold like patterns or personality to your Sims. But I would love to hear your opinions on this, just of us like flipping through. Obviously, I haven't really talked about it, but there is a fair amount of formal too because of proms. So I actually just went back and like looked at the body hair in my recording, and unfortunately for the facial hair, the sort of like curly textured facial hair is exclusive to the pack, which is so unfortunate because we have started getting like curlier hair texture in base game, but when it comes to like a short stubble, we only currently have like 2 longer beards and no like curly haired stubble. So I would really like to see that as a base game feature rather than exclusive to this pack. It just feels like it's not really doing rep too well at the moment, which is something that I've talked about for like a long time when it comes to CreatorSim. And then when it comes to like the body hair, there doesn't really seem to be many like curly hair textures. It's weird because the back hair definitely seems to have more of, it's not curly, I wouldn't say, but it definitely seems to be thicker hair, whereas the arm, leg, and chest hair don't have like a curly swatch. So I definitely feel like that's a missing piece when it comes to it. Hopefully they can just continue to keep adding like body hair to the base game, please and thank you, Sims team. That is my personal feedback. Also, Sims can't have facial hair, which I actually would like to see. I would definitely like to see that normalized. We now have access to body hair on Sims, so hopefully in the future they might be able to open facial hair up to that. The enable hair growth option for body hair actually is exclusive to high school years, so that's not a base game update. You'll only be able to shave and have hair growth actually if you buy the expansion pack. But obviously with base game, you'll still be able to have the base game body hair. I hope that's easy to understand. And yeah, for the kiddos and the toddler tots, we actually have 7 hairs for the toddlers and 11 hairs for the kids. I mean, it was kind of expected. It's a teen expansion. We were pretty much gonna get teen stuff and up. I would have liked to see maybe like jerseys for the kids with like the high school badge on it or something, say if they were supporting like their siblings or like wanting to go to that school. I think it would have been cute, but I'm not gonna hold this against them this time. Like, we got the hairs, which I think is a good thing. However, they are missing 1 hair. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's the unnatural colors. That's CreatorSim. Like I said, I think it's very usable content. I know not everyone is going to be a fan of the crop tops, which is why I thought I would draw attention to it, because I feel like we have a lot of crop tops. I honestly would really love to see it if they just started giving us variations. For example, the blazers. I would have loved an option with the crop top, and then maybe them just extending it so it was also just like a regular top. I would love to hear what you lot think of this though. I honestly really like it. It reminds me of Discover University, in which I really adored that CreatorSim as well. I think I'm gonna use an awful lot of it. Would have loved to see more accessories. I do feel like accessories can once again kind of be a thing that like shows people who you are. Chunky rings, maybe. Definitely like a fishnet top that you could wear underneath other tops, and also fishnets for the like socks even, and also like tights. So I do feel like the accessories were missing for me in this one. The only accessory that I can really see myself getting an awful lot of use out is the crocheted bucket hat, which 10 out of 10 for me. Kind of wish that crochet was a thing and you could crochet your own own fashion instead of like trendy. I do really like trendy, but we'll get into that in my gameplay overview, which is probably gonna be up later today. And whilst I like the shoes that were included, 2 just doesn't feel enough, especially when heels are so lacking in the game. I really wanted like a nice pair of stilettos or something like that, especially with having prom and also pajamas. Considering build and buy mode had so much like emphasis on the teenagers' bedrooms, which I get, it's another essence of their personality, I really think that some like cozy sleepwear would have been quite nice, because I always feel like sleepwear is also lacking. So those are kind of the missed opportunities for me on this one, but mostly this was a hit for me. Sorry, I feel like I've talked your ear off, but let me know what you think about Create a Sim. Let me know if you're going to be using this, you're not going to be using it. I would like to hear it, and I will speak to you all in the next one. Bye now.